Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of the Heiniger Saphir clipper service. I'm Simon and welcome to Oakside Saddlery. Okay, so everything's cleaned up. We've tidied all the bits up. We need to look at some parts because I think some bits are broken and might need replacing at some point, but we'll have a look at that when we get to it. Rest of it, all pretty good going. I just got a few little bits left to clean, so I'm going to clean the terminals on there. Going to get some cleaner in that. Bits of grease and lubrication everywhere, and we're sorted. So my screws are sorted out. Body screws, a little small one with the back, two of the head one. So first part then, we're going to have a look at this motor and clean it up. So we can feel it's a little bit tight. It's not too bad. It's just a little bit clicky. So there's not much in the way of holes I can get into. So I've only got one here. There's nothing at the back there. That goes into a bearing. And there's a cut at the front. So we'll see what we can find. So a little bit of contact cleaner. Works well with most things. I could do with a straw in the end, but I can't find it. But we'll have a little squirt in there and see what we get. A little squirt around there. Feels much better. Cleaned it up already. Oh, it's even spinning now. Excuse me today, my nose has decided to start running. So let's have another look at this part here. A little bit on there, a little bit on there. A bit of paper towel should get in there nicely. If it just gets rid of some of that tarnish, it just makes it look better, doesn't it? That one's worse. Better. Over there. A couple on that side as well. Let's give them ones a little squidge over as well. This stuff's quite good because it's got alcohol or something in it, so it evaporates really quick, makes it nice and clean. Don't really need that in it. Oh well, last little bit. And that'll evaporate off of there, so sorted that out. Get rid of that. Now let's get this back together then. So that one, the motor's going to go first. So not a lot in the way there. There's one little bearing at the back, so we can have a little oil in there. Get that working. So just a little tiny drop just in there. That's all that needs. Give that a go round. Give it a clean up. Now, motor's going to sit in here. Oh, that's a good catch on it. In here with a circuit board up on top of there. So that's going to just sit down there. And the circuit board pushes back in place. Just there. So that's our first part. Next bit we've got is going to be this gear. So the idea is this moves here, this rotates here. So we've got a little bearing on the top. We need a little drop of oil in, and it had all grease around the bottom. So we're going to put a bit of grease. And we need to get some grease and oil on that shaft as well. So nothing fancy, a bit of multi-purpose grease. So we take a little smidge, put it on there. So as that goes down, it's going to press down into that. And then we need to get some more grease around the outside there. That's quite close up, that one, wasn't it? So that's that part. That can go on top of there. And we notice it pushes the grease out of the top. Get rid of that excess. And a little drop of oil in that bearing, so we can see roughly where it's turning, which is there. So I'm just going to squidge a little drop on it there. And I'm going to ease that around, and that will work its way into there. Now, unlike the grease, it doesn't move much. The oil will move, so I don't want to leave too much of that on there. So that's in there. That one's on there. That's all fitting well. I can feel that turning. You can see where that bearing's off centre. So the idea is that's what moves that lever across. So there's a little washer, which is that, and a little circle, I can't remember what they're called, circle blooming spring clippy thing. So a little bit of grease on top of there, doesn't matter if it goes on that. The excess again, washer's going to go on, and then this little circuit clip. Now these, I have a real habit of these, of trying to put them on and then they disappear off to the middle of nowhere. So we need to line it up first of all, so that's it on the actual washer, and if it's feeling tough I can push it, but as I'm probably not going to be able to, I'll have to do it with a screwdriver. A screwdriver goes on the back of it and we push. See where it's starting to turn? That's it. Clipped in there nice. Now next part then, we need to get this lever on. So this lever is going to sit in there, but it's got a few bits and pieces that go with it. So we need the foam air filter. So these air filters, you can see they're a pain in the bum to clean up completely, but you can get most of the hair off of them. They do have a sort of a shape to them because they cut in on the other side, and you can just about see, can you see there where it's like got two little cuts just in the edge there? So they do actually have a right and wrong way to go there and there, but I think it does it on both sides and it's all the way around. I certainly couldn't see that it was going to make much difference. So that's going to sit across that, and it sits right back quite a way. Sits back to about there somewhere. These, if you wash them, it was typical. The sun was streaming out this morning, and then after I'd cleaned it all up, the sun went in. Normally I'd leave it in the sun to dry out. If that doesn't happen, get yourself a clean paper towel, put it in it after you've washed it, blow it out, most of it if you can, and then just give it a squeeze, and the paper towel will soak up any water on it. What you don't want to put it in if it's wet. So a bit on here then. So there was grease around the top of this. Let's get some more grease all around there because it was all in the bottom of that lever, and there was a bit of grease over there as well. So that all needs to go together. Let's lose that. My little foam filter is going to go on, and this is going to sit across there, and that foam filter sits in the little pocket for it there. So it's going to sit somewhere around there, and then this, it depends on where this centre's set up, depends on what angle it's going to be at. So that's what you're looking at for that part. I've got grease on my fingers because I can feel it. Which probably means I've been smearing grease down the other side of the blippers. Never mind, eh? Little washer part, that sits on top of there. So it just sits there on the two pins. And that seals up now where this part is. So it sits on top. So that's our clippers, the interior, back together. I've now got to figure this piece back out. So these, is this the one that has the hooks on it? No, this one hasn't got hooks on it. It sits just in there and it squeezes in place. Yeah, so like with most of them, I don't want to force this. I don't want to go putting the screws in if it's not in the right place. I've still got grease all down my hand. If it's not in the right place, because all you'll end up doing is cracking the plastic. So when you put it together, nice and gentle, make sure it clicks into place if there's any clicks on it, and that's what it's going to do. So we've got the big screws and one little one. Don't forget your little one because it holds the back of that together. So I'm going to drop a screw in each one like that, and I've got my electric screwdriver somewhere, so do it into screw up mode. It just sits in there. I'm not putting any pressure on this. Just going to go gently and make sure it actually feels like it's doing something. If you're not too sure, the other way of doing these is to take that fitting off, if that's what you've got, and turn it in by hand, because that one just jammed. There it goes. Still jamming. There you go, that's better. What you don't want to do is cut a fresh, easy for you to say, a fresh thread. These are self-tappers. So because they're self-tappers, they will cut another thread. You'll get away with one maybe. As soon as you start getting sort of two of them, then you won't get these done up again, the little plastic tube. There are ways you can do it. You can fill them up with glues and things like that. cut a new thread in it. So one goes. Depending on what screwdriver you've got, some of these can be really nice. You can have almost like torque settings on them. This one's 5 Newton meters, not very powerful, but if you notice, see how I'm allowing that as it goes, I allow it to turn. So I'm not actually forcing it up majorly tight, I'm allowing that driver to turn in my hands, and that way I can reduce how tight it is. Last one, throw that over there. This is the one that's just inside here. Everyone thinks I would have turned up, so now that dog's going to go barking. There we go. So that's our clippers back together. We can give these a test here. So motor goes in. Good mate, do they sound better? Now, if I'm clever, I'll put that back onto the other screen. Now, the last part then. I'll take that motor back off because I don't want it to go running. Let's get these back together. So, what I was looking at earlier is whether the springs are in the back of this, and I don't think they are. I certainly can't see them. There should be, I've got another video what shows this, but there should be 2 little springs sticking up here, and they're not there, and I can't see them, which normally means that it's been taken off. Then when they put it back together, they've got it in the wrong place. So I'll let Pete know about that when I drop them back to him, because this, it should have 2 springs that line up with that, and that is what allows this to spring backwards and forwards really well. So I think he's got spare ones of these. They're only 2 screws. So what I'll do is I'll put it back together anyway and let him know. So that comes apart. Definitely no wires down there. So really we should be able to hook them in, and that would all stay in one place. And that's what does it, but without it this would be loose, so it'd drop the blades. Sometimes they get away with it, most times they won't. So that's going to sit in there like that. So this is where it should have a spring on that, and it's not got one. So we'll put it back together, that way he knows all the parts are there, and then when he does it, he can fit a new one for it. So with these, again, I'm not going to tighten that right up. I need them both in place, because what happens otherwise, they twist around. So this one's going to push it that way, and it won't go because there's a plastic plate there. So I'm going to let that one go first, and then this one second. So that's where you spring. So this should spring back up there, and it doesn't. Yeah, so it might hold the blade, it might not, it probably won't. And bolts in. So battery back together, everything's kitted out, blades there, sounds much better. Oh, I don't need the grease in, I can get rid of that. Don't need my screwdriver, I can get rid of that. Heiniger Saphir then. Nice little trimmer. So I think most of the dog groomers have these sort of clippers. They're a nice clipper. Rechargeable battery pack. I think they last quite a while. Then when it comes to a couple of batteries as well. Nice clippers. Give Heiniger their due on that one. Anyway, if you like the video, if you've got any comments, leave them down below. Click that thumbs up, which is somewhere around there, isn't it? If I press my fingers in the right places. And remember to subscribe for more of these and a bit more leather work if I ever get the chance to do any. But otherwise, enjoy yourself and have a good day. Goodbye.